Education planning can play a big role. We know there has been disparities in education in terms of distribution of educational facilities, deployment of teachers, as well as availability of textbooks. So with proper educational planning, we can address all those challenges. The biggest challenges are three: access, equity, and quality. In relation to access, we have 1.8 children who are out of school. We need to, ensure that they are brought into the education system and ensure that they benefit from the education system. In relation to equity, still the number of girls in schools is less than 40% in primary and less than 30% in secondary schools. So we need to do more to bring more girls into the education system. But it is not only girls that are disadvantaged. There are other groups like children with disabilities, children in rural areas, very small children who are supposed to go into early childhood development centers. Those are underrepresented in the student population. IEP has been helping in terms of training our staff to be better at educational planning. They have been helping us with this general education strategic plan, which we hopefully will complete this Friday here, and then we'll have further consultation. So the role of IEP, in planning for general education has been a positive one, and we are now more confident that the general education strategic plan will be evidence-based, will meet international standards, and it will be a plan that we can rely on. The planning has been supported by UNESCO, especially IEP. The exercise is a problem-solving exercise. We have been looking at the evidence available in terms of the education census statistics and what can be done in order to address the challenges in education, which I have just enumerated. And one of the things we are trying to do is to come up with short-term goals that can be achieved in the next 2 years, but also coming up with the long-term goals. So in the area of short-term goals, we are trying to address the issue of access by expanding the infrastructure so that we have more classrooms, especially in areas where we have the significant numbers of out-of-school children. But at the same time, we are also mindful of the fact that you cannot increase the number of students without increasing the number of teachers. So we are also trying to recruit additional teachers, mainly volunteers, using the National Education Service provision in the General Education Act 2012 to recruit volunteers that will work, and then we will have to pay them an allowance every month to keep them going. But the volunteers will also need training, so we will need to also do training for the volunteers as well as in-service training for the workforce. And that is something that needs to be done in the next 2 years or so. But apart from addressing the issue of access, we are also going to address the issue of quality by not only training teachers but also implementing the new national curriculum. And the new national curriculum requires training of teachers as well as printing of textbooks. But we also take the view that inspection will also help in terms of improving the quality of teaching and learning in schools, and also making sure that the schools use the feedback from inspections in order to develop school improvement plans. And then we'll use the capitation grants we're giving to schools in order for them to implement those school improvement plans, among other things. So there are a number of short-term reforms that we are going to implement, and they are all documented in this strategic plan.